LaTosha Brown is the co-founder of the Black Voters Matter Fund. She's been getting out the vote in Georgia, and we reached her in Atlanta.
LaTosha, we had a chance to speak to you before the last time there was a runoff race back in January 2021. So how does it feel to be doing this all over again?
You know, it is an arduous process. It seems like a never-ending campaign. In many ways, it feels like deja vu. You know, but in many ways, it's interesting, it's challenging, and inspiring at the same time.
Have you had a chance to vote yet?
I am literally on my way to vote currently as we speak. I am headed to the polls. What we've also seen is we've seen long lines. And for some, it's like, oh, long lines, that's a sign of interest and people voting. Yes, that's true. That's a sign that there's energy and people are interested in voting, but it's also a sign that there's something broken in our system. We know how many voters there are. We know we're at these sites that we can actually make provisions, and I think we also have to see that as a part, you know, of the larger process around voter suppression and some of the ways that it plays itself out. In addition to that, last time in 2020, we had over 8 weeks. We had 8 weeks that we could actually organize. We could actually register new voters who had turned 18 since the last election to participate in the runoff election. This time, because of the voter suppression law, SB 202, that time period was shortened. There's a lot of things that we're combating around voter suppression that makes it very challenging. But on the flip side, the kind of energy, the kind of determination, the kind of resolve that I'm seeing from voters on the ground, that is what has been very, very inspiring this process for me.
I was gonna ask you what people are saying to you today.
You know, it's been interesting. As we've been traveling around, we have what we call the Blackest Bus in America and our Black Voters Matter bus. We've been traveling around all throughout the state. It's interesting. There's a certain kind of energy that we see, even that's different from the midterm elections that we see in the runoff, where people have literally been walking up to me before I can even approach them to show me their sticker, the sticker that actually denotes that they've voted already. People are very clear that this is an important election, and some folks are saying that, quite frankly, they feel insulted with how they feel that the Republicans have tried to actually prop up a candidate that has a black face but represents an agenda that is, we believe, that is against the black community or politically black voters. And so that's been interesting. I've heard a lot of people on the ground that have just been coming, saying that they are really determined that they're going to vote. There's nothing that is going to stop them from participating in this election.
Your energy, your work is helping fuel that determination. We've actually got some audio of a video that you posted on your social media from that bus. Let's listen into that a bit.
Come on and vote. I see you, sister. How you doing? Make sure that you go and vote. All right, then. All right. Vote today. All right. Thank you for voting. All right. Come on, East Columbus. Let's vote today. Vote one, vote all. If we all get out here, we cannot fall. Come on, East Columbus. Black voters matter. We won't black down.
I can't believe you still have a voice.
Well, let me tell you, I'm probably on the tail end of it. It's probably a little hoarseness on it.
The right to vote is clearly a huge, huge part of this for you and many other voters. But in terms of control of the Senate, we know Democrats have already secured that. Does that take some of the urgency out of the vote for you? Why do you want people to know this vote still matters?
While we know that the Democratic Party has control of the Senate, currently as it stands, with this additional seat, it would give flexibility to the chairman. It would give flexibility to the Senate leadership to be able to appoint committees that literally are going to be focused on the issues at hand. What we've seen and witnessed in the last 4 years, we've seen the Republican Party, quite frankly, be obstructionists. Right? We've seen many of them actually support insurrectionists. We've actually seen them stand in the way of critical issues like voting rights. And so having this additional the Democratic leadership having this additional seat, it actually opens up to give them more flexibility in terms of committee appointments. And the second reason is that the people of Georgia matter, that we're in a state that the minimum wage in the state of Georgia currently is $5.15 an hour. Who can live off that to provide for themselves and their family? We need solid leadership because we've got problems in the state. We also have to recognize that while whoever becomes the next senator will actually represent the people of Georgia, and that's key and first and foremost, that fundamentally they will also be a part of shaping national policy for the rest of the country. We need a leader that is capable. We need a leader that actually has solid positions on these particular issues, and then we need a leader that is literally going to be able to lead in a critical moment, that if ever in this country we need a clear, concise, integral leadership, it is now.
The candidate you're supporting, Raphael Warnock, I want to ask you about his opponent, Herschel Walker. There are questions about his state of residence. There are allegations of abuse and violence, and despite his public stance on abortion, he has been accused of pressuring women to get abortions. How do you feel about the fact that it has come to a runoff? This is where the vote is at now in your state, that it's come down to these two candidates.
In addition to not being honest about his place of residence, in addition to being handpicked by Trump to run for this seat, plucked out of Texas, and handpicked to run for this seat, and his own set of problems and issues that come along with that, in addition to all of those things, it is clear that he is incapable of leading in this particular role. He's actually, by his own admission, what he said while campaigning is, I'm not a smart guy. Well, I need a smart guy or a smart woman. I need a smart person to actually be in the U.S. Senate to deal with the kind of issues that we're facing. The Republican Party has put up a slew of candidates. He's not the first. There are a slew of candidates who have not had integrity, a slew of candidates who have literally just been in a position to sow fear. That I think at the end of the day, this is about raw power for the party and not about the people.
LaTosha, thank you so much for your time, and good luck at your polling station. Thanks so much.
Thank you.